What's up, Cognac lovers? Today I'm interviewing another really cool Cognac content creator, Cognac and Armagnac, Benjamin from ARCORE, Germany. Is that how you say that? ARCORE?
Yeah, that's ARCORE. I don't know. Yeah, you say ARCORE, it's fine.
I gotcha. Does
Yeah.
that mean anything? ARCORE?
Yeah, actually it stands for Armagnac Cognac Reviews. So that's the short, of ARCORE. So R is for Armagnac, CO is for Cognac, and RE is for Reviews. Yeah. So
That is really creative. I would have never got that. That's really cool.
yeah.
So
So actually
cool.
it's quite funny because in Germany we had many years ago a company that was called the same. And so sometimes people are a little bit confused about it, but yeah. So it's many years ago.
No, that's cool. Why don't you introduce yourself for the audience? Your full name, and then yeah, what got you started into Armagnac and Cognac reviews?
Yes, sure. So yes, I'm Benjamin Heinzelmann. I'm from Germany. I'm living in Freiburg, so a very nice Black Forest, and I'm 36 years old. And actually, Armagnac and Cognac, that's not my main business. My main business, we have a real estate company in Germany here. And so this is actually what my main focus is. But of course, Armagnac and Cognac is also a big part already in my life. So yes, how did I came to it? Well, actually, first I was very in with whiskey first. So for many years, I was on topic whiskey. And I had a very well. I knew cognac already, of course. If you are familiar with another spirit, you get automatically
Right.
connect also to other spirits. So of course, I knew cognac, but not really did know a lot about it. And it was, I think, almost 10 years ago when I was in a bar sitting, and I had an absolutely great evening there. And there was very nice bartender, and yeah, he told me a little bit about cognac, and so we had a very nice discussion because I knew a lot of whiskey and he knew a lot of to cognac. So we had a great evening there, actually a funny evening with some friends, and he told me so many exciting things about cognac which I never heard before. So I said, okay, this sounds interesting, and I want to know more about cognac. And so it came actually that I, yes, tried many cognac, discovered a lot of new cognac houses also,
Mhm.
and yes, experienced the whole cognac world. And so this was how it came actually to cognac. And I think if you are a little bit familiar with cognac, then you also will step over Armagnac. So this is something you cannot avoid, in my opinion. And yes, so then I also came to Armagnac, and yes, so actually I always made already when I was in whiskey many tastings already for a lot of friends and also other guys, and yeah, so it was also my passion also to write tasting notes. And I said, okay, so let's start because I wanted to have a YouTube channel, was my wish for many years already. I said, okay, I would like to do that. I would like to try it. And yeah, so I tried now for, I know, 1.5 years, I think now for almost.
Okay.
So yes, I'm having a lot of fun with it. And yes, I keep on doing the work. And I really hope, of course, the people also like what I'm doing. So
Yeah, I know people are liking it because I started my channel almost a year now in August. The Instagram, YouTube, and you said a year and a half. You're at like 2.2K on YouTube. So I mean, you're doing really well. That's really great to see.
yes, of course I hope the audience like what I'm doing. So yes, so I have a lot of fun with it, and of course it needs a lot of time to make videos. It's not to write easy like to write tasting notes and just put them in the internet and say that's it. So if you make a video, you need definitely a lot of more time. And but I also love making videos. So I also, when we are on holidays on vacation, I always make videos, and this is also another big passion for me. So yeah, so two big passions here coming together.
Now that's cool. What made you make a Cognac and Armagnac review page rather than a whiskey page?
Well, actually, I think whiskey, there are a lot of people making whiskey reviews already. And I don't think you need to make whiskey popular, because whiskey is very popular already. So I never had the idea to do it for whiskey, actually, to be honest. But I think Cognac and also Armagnac deserve definitely to be more present, to show people what this product means, because there are not any big companies. Most of the Armagnac Cognac producers are very small, so there are not a lot of big companies behind them. So this is only a family-run business. It's their big passion, it's their life, what they are doing there. And I said, okay, you need to show the people that. You need to tell them about the domain. You need to tell about their products, because these are fantastic products for absolutely phenomenal prices, in my opinion. So if you compare it with whiskey or even rum,
Yeah, funny story about the prices. So I want to share with you the first ever Armagnac I ever tasted, which is hilarious. You'll see, was this Armagnac de Montal, 1958. Okay,
Yes.
I didn't know much about Armagnac. I thought it was a cool box at the time. I believe I was maybe 22. I was just kind of at one of my local stores. I'm like, oh, what's that nice box? He was like, oh, it's Armagnac, and I'm like, I've heard of it. I know it's distilled from grapes, and let me see it. I'm like, oh, this looks really cool. How much is it? He was like, oh, it's I think 140. I'm like, really? It's this old? Yeah. I'm like, you serious? So I ended up buying it, and I love it. Unfortunately, it is empty. Me and my friends and family have really enjoyed that bottle. But yeah, that's one thing I noticed, and what kind of made me, because I'm a big bourbon fan. Being American, bourbon is huge here. Have you tried bourbon, or were you more into Scotch and Irish whiskey?
Yes, so definitely more on the Scotch. I have been to Scotland so many times. I don't know, 5, 6 times already, and I love Scotland. So such a beautiful country as well. And but bourbon, actually, I was struggling a little bit with bourbon, to be honest. It's not the kind of spirit I prefer to be. So yeah.
Yeah, no, everyone's got their favorites,
Yeah, that's it.
But being huge here, I loved bourbon. And then for my 21st birthday, my dad got me a bottle of Jean Fiel Cigar Club. And since then, it was really, the train took off, and I loved Armagnac. And then I visited, I loved Cognac, and then I got into Armagnac, and I visited Cognac in 2022. On that trip, it was a 2-week trip. I visited Paris. That was my first time in Europe as well. Switzerland, Italy, we went all around. But, since I had tried Cognac, I'm like, wow, Cognac Friends isn't far from Paris. Let's take the train. And it blew me away, these small producers. The first one I visited was Prunier. And when I tell you, I didn't even know Cognac could taste that good. Before that, the Jean Fiel was great, but then I was trying, big brands, because that's what's available here in America. Hennessy, Martell. I enjoyed it, but I actually have it where I want to show you. When I'll edit that out.
So I think so before you came to Cognac, you were in Armagnac, or?
Oh no, I enjoyed Armagnac, Cognac, and I only visited Cognac in 2022.
Okay.
And I wish I stayed longer. I stayed for 2 days,
Okay.
and I'm going back. But yeah, so I tried this while I was there. I ended up buying it, the 1971 Prunier. I know you have reviewed some of their vintages as well, so this was my first big kind of dive into Cognac, and that's what really took me away, and that's why I started making content, because I saw also, another perspective you had as well. I didn't see any Cognac Armagnac producers. You were really the only one I saw when I looked it up on YouTube. So I was like, wow, this needs way more attention, because the spirit is phenomenal. So that's really cool. You getting into spirit. And what's your schedule like trying to make content? Because that is something that recently I have struggled with, just trying to find that time. I'm a data analyst for work, full time. And it's like, what's kind of your process of trying to find that time to create content?
Difficult sometimes, yes. Of course, as I mentioned, we have our own family. It's a family company, actually. So yes, difficult sometimes. But yes, I spend a lot of time actually to make content, to create videos, to I think you need to see it's not only the video which I make, it's a lot of work in advance which you have to do. So yeah, a lot of time. To be honest, I do it most of the time in the evening, or even a little bit going to the nighttime already, to cut the videos and put them online. And yeah, I think if you make a lot of videos, you get also faster. You know what you want to talk about, especially if you make a review to a producer or to a domain where you already had to make some review. So it's then a lot of easier, and everything is a little bit faster. And of course, I have my procedure, which I always make when I make videos. So yeah, of course, it needs always time. Every review needs a lot of time, especially because I make it also in German. So
I saw that.
Languages. Yeah. It's sometimes yes. Even if I don't have the time, I make it only in English. But most of the time, I try to make German and English videos. Yeah.
Have you seen a lot of passion from any of your followers who comment on your German reviews? Are there a lot of Germans who are getting into Armagnac and Cognac?
Yes, so I get a lot of messages, to be honest. A lot of people, they are very grateful because they are new to Armagnac or Cognac, and this helps them, of course, a little bit to discover these spirits, because I don't make only expensive bottles, I have also very cheap bottles or not overpriced bottles. And so, of course, it's all my personal opinion if I make the reviews. But yes, I got already a lot of good feedback from the people also who bought then the bottles, and said, yes, thank you for the recommendation, and were really happy that I made the reviews. And but as I mentioned, it's also for me important not only to speak about the product, to speak about the producer, because every producer has its own special history, many, even 100 or 200 years. So it's amazing. It's absolutely fantastic. And this is also for me, as I mentioned before, part of these reviews. No?
Yeah, that's one aspect of the reviews I love about your reviews, is because you go into every detail about the bottle, and then you give a little bit of, information about the producer. That's something I've personally taken note, because I'm like, I have to do better about giving all the information. So that's an aspect I really enjoyed that part of your content. I've seen recently that I forgot where in Germany, but there's an Armagnac festival taking place.
Yeah.
Do you know about that, and have you gone to any of the previous years?
Yes, I unfortunately did not make it this year because we got a baby, and I did not have the time.
Congratulations!
Thank you to get be there. But last year I was there. I made also a video about it. So yes, if you're interested, you can have a look there on my YouTube channel. You'll find it. Yes, I think it's been already now the third time, if I have it correct in mind, and I was the first time there, and even the second time. So it's an absolutely amazing opportunity to taste a lot of different Armagnac. So even you can try also a little bit of some other spirits, but especially, of course, Armagnac. And that's, for me personal, the best thing about this fair is that you can also meet the producer. So the producers are there. You can speak with them. So most of them, they speak a little bit of some English. So yes, and also even quite good English, so no problem to discuss with them. And yes, it's an absolutely fantastic opportunity there to meet these guys, to learn about these spirits, even if you don't have had any contact before with these spirits. So it's, yes, an absolutely great opportunity, and so it's very close to to Freiburg. So it's about, I think, 2 or 2.5 hours by car. So no, not far.
No, that's really cool. And I wanted to go, couldn't make it because I'm going back to Cognac in November for the Cognac Festival in Bordeaux. So I'll be going there. But that's really cool. I find that it's great that that Cognac and Armagnac market is growing in Germany, because it's kind of a different story here in America. You may have seen, different, Cognac Expert, the website. They put out I actually have it right here because I was going to make a video about it. A lot about what's going on in Cognac, kind of the market, and with the U.S. being one of the biggest markets, it's not as popular. After I got back from my trip to Cognac, besides the big brands, no one knows about cognac. No one knows about how amazing these small producers are, or even heard of them, or even that cognac's even made of grapes, you know. So
Mhm.
that's kind of interesting. And there's no festivals here. You know,
Yeah.
I was looking around because I'm like, if there's a festival within the US, I will try my best to get there. But I realized I'm like, there's like one, you know, and I'm like, man, I really wish that might be something I have to work on, or maybe try to orchestrate myself. But I just find that really cool that that market's growing in Germany. Um, so have you ever visited Cognac?
Yes, I've been twice there. I also made my videos about it when I had the chance to visit it last time. I would like to go more often there, of course, but also from Germany, it's quite far to drive by car. But yeah, I love it. I love Cognac, I love Armagnac, the regions, not only because of the spirits, also it's beautiful scenery there. You have wonderful landscapes. It's an absolutely amazing trip, which I had last year, for example. We've been there. And yes, so I'm always impressed. So not only from the domain and from the products, so also from the scenery there. And by the way, I will be also at the Cognac Festival in November this year. So
Oh, great.
we will meet us there.
Yeah, I'll see you there. I'll be
Yeah,
doing a lot of content in Cognac beforehand, so maybe I'll see you there. And then
yeah,
speaking about Cognac, your visit there, I'll watch your video. And you know, viewers watching, make sure to check out Benjamin's videos about Cognac so you can see that perspective. And I'll be making content too. Which houses did you visit, or is there a house in particular that really impressed you about their visit?
so I think each Cognac house has its specialties. So of course, I had the chance already twice to visit Bertrand Cognac. I had a very nice contact there. But yeah, every Cognac house has nice things. Yeah, all the people are very open and friendly. So if you visit them, you will never get to hear no, you cannot come, or no, it's not possible. They are always maybe sometimes a little bit on distance first, because they are not that used to have visitors here. It's not like if you go to Scotland and have a huge visitor center and all fancy styles and everything. No, it's different, and you need also to call or to write them in advance to make your appointment. But yes, very friendly people there, and yes, I think you made probably the same experience.
Yeah, I have not visited Bhutan yet. It is on my list. There's a lot on the list. I wish I
Yeah.
could visit them all. In particular, my first visit was with Pune, and that's how I kind of they're maybe a little bit biased, but I just love all their cognac so far. Um, I just want to ask you, you know, what do you have a type of cognac that you're starting to really gravitate towards? Because when I first walked into Prunier, it was a little bit awkward since I didn't know much French at all, and I'm working really hard on that now.
Yeah.
Stefan, the cellar master, you know, asked me, "Do you like young or old cognac?" And me and my father was with me, and we said old because I'm a sucker for very old 40, 50-year cognac. Do you have a favorite type of cognac?
No. And to be honest, I don't have. I just saw your video from the Godet, which you made recently, the
The single
17 years
cast,
old.
which is funny because I
Yes,
actually have it here.
yes, that's one. And I also made a review already, and will come out tomorrow. So, and this was for me also an absolutely amazing cognac. And I mean, you have 17 years of maturation, and this cognac blew me away completely. It's an absolutely outstanding cognac. And so you also have it with old cognac. So I think you cannot say old cognac is better. Definitely not. So I had a lot of old cognac, which I didn't like. I had a lot of young cognac, which I didn't like. I had both, which I like a lot. So it's really depends on the cognac itself. So
Speaking about that bottle in particularly, the one thing I really appreciate from Godet is that they have all the information about the cask on the label. And so it's really made me think like, okay, is it the recharred heads? Is it the dry cellar? Like what makes this cognac absolutely fantastic? Is it the grape variety, Maltese, Foyer Blanche? Is it Foie Bois, the Trois? So man, I just, you know, because I'm one aspect I'm really, really trying to see is that I'm trying to try cognacs from every region. Grand Champagne, Petite Champagne, and you hear often Grand Champagne's kind of the best. But in your opinion, is there a terroir you think that you've really enjoyed?
I think it's also the same like with young and old cognac. You cannot say. To be honest, I had now a lot of good cognac from the Bonbois. So because Bonbois is kind of special actually. Yes, I think if I need to choose one, I think I would pick the Bonbois region. But of course, I had, especially the older matured cognac, so especially a Petit and Grand Champagne, you have their outstanding cognac, especially, as I said, if they are longer matured. But even from the Bonbois, Bonbois, you can have very good old matured cognac as well. And what I really find a pity is that you don't hear a lot of the Bois Ordinaire. You have their wonderful cognac as well. So I was down the islands visiting the Ile d'Oléron and the Ile de Ré. Fantastic cognac there as well, but it's just very small. Yeah, it's not really. They don't have single cask cognac there. I think there's a lot of potential there, but it's not used. So you have to, don't forget, you have the climate here from the sea. So this has, for me, it's something I always have to think about, like Islay whiskey, to have the sea influence there. And this is something what I really think it's a little bit sad that you don't see a lot from the Bois Ordinaire region, actually.
Yeah, I've only seen a couple. I've only reviewed one Bois Ordinaire because cognac some of the smaller producers, it can be hard for me to get. I have to get them online, and then the shipping costs and things like that.
Yeah.
But I did get to have a sample of the Camus Ile from, I don't know why I'm blanking. I did a review on it. A shame. I don't know why I can't think, but that was so different to me. It got that little bit of saltiness. It really changed the way I think of cognac because it wasn't, traditionally really fruity like most of the cognacs. That a whole terroir is something I really want to dive into more. And then speaking of Bonbois, I see Moxion has a good amount of Bonbois single cask, and the one I did try, I forgot which one, but they are doing fantastic work over there. I really want to meet Thibault. And I saw you have a couple reviews of Moxion. Do you really enjoy their cognac selections?
Yeah, Moxion has some very, very great stuff, to be honest. Yes, they have. I think it's for me a little bit comparable to Prunier, the Moxion bottling. So they have very good quality cognac, of course, also a little bit more expensive cognac. But yeah, Moxion is also a very good cognac house, in my opinion.
I have to learn more and get more. There was one, I don't know if have you listened to the Cognac Expert podcast? They no longer do it, but it is on Spotify. Have you listened?
No, I did not know.
Well, if you're on Spotify, just I would give it a listen because Moxion has a couple podcast episodes, and just talking with Thibault, it's just really, really cool the insights you get there. So I would highly recommend, and maybe I'll start a cognac podcast sometime.
That would be cool. That would be cool. Yeah.
Ever since I listened to Cognac Experts, and they're so busy that I understand they can't just keep up with it, man. Yeah. But I would probably have to live in France if I wanted to do that, or get a visa, because it's like all that. I would love to go to every producer, but from here, might be hard to schedule, especially with my, working full time as well. Yeah, I would kind of going back to your content creation. Because I see you make a lot of long form content. Do you enjoy that more than making a short review? Like for me, I make a lot of short reviews, as you probably have seen on Instagram, and I don't have any long reviews. Is there a reason to that, or you just like doing the longer reviews?
I also saw the same when I started making videos, if I should make short videos or longer videos. I think sometimes it's, I want to give the people all my experience, which I'm with a spirit. So it's not only the tasting notes. Of course, I could only sit there and say, okay, I smell this, I taste this. But for me, it is a little bit another experience for in my interpretation to taste a spirit, because these are very high value spirits, and I think they deserve to be not only give tasting notes. So tell a little bit more about these spirits. Really show all your impressions, your experience which you make with the spirit. So I think it's for me a little bit more than only give tasting notes. But I can, of course, I completely understand you that it's a thing. It's a matter of time. If I would not have such a lot of time to make these videos, of course, I would also maybe only even write the reviews then. So not make any videos there.
Yeah, I know Cognac, he doesn't make videos, but he has a blog. I don't know, you may have seen. He does a lot of whiskey, but he has done Cognac and Armagnacs before, but he has a great blog there. And I wish I was a better writer to have a blog. But no, that's really cool. I definitely want to take more time, and I would love to even make videos about the history of each Cognac house. Maybe starting with the big houses, because their history is already out there to research and probably easy accessible. But I think that would be really cool. And then do you use a camera, or do you use your phone for your content?
No, I actually use a camera. I used my phone at the beginning, but I was struggling a little with the technique, and also I was not happy with the quality, so I decided to use a good camera. Yes, so I think it's better quality and better experience also for the viewer in this case.
All right. What, if you don't mind me asking, what camera do you use? I am camera shopping. So
yes, I have a Canon. It's a EOS. Which type? I think it's 650, something like that. I'm not 100% sure.
No, that's really cool, because I still use my phone. But when we, the festival, I'm like, okay, I have to upgrade here. So I will definitely be looking for a camera, a pretty good camera, and I'll take the Canon to advice. I hear a lot of great reviews about their cameras. So, but no, that's really interesting, Benjamin. Do you, so far, how'd you find out about the Cognac Festival? Just online, or did someone tell you about it?
No, someone wrote me and he invited me to this festival. So I think it is, I don't know, who is the organization from this? I think it was the organization who wrote me. So yeah, I don't know his name, but he wrote me, he invited me, and I said, of course, if I have time, I will come, definitely. Yeah. I also wanted to come to the Armagnac festival at Bordeaux, but this year I could not make it, definitely not. So, but also maybe next year, if I have the chance to get there, I will definitely also go to this Armagnac festival there.
I wish, if I wasn't a COA, I would go to all these events. That's really cool. I can't wait to see you there. That's going to be a lot of fun. And every house is going to be there. That's going to be a great event. And then, one aspect I've seen, and then I read in this Cognac Expert article, most cognac, I didn't know this, is consumed in a cocktail. And making these reviews, I assume that cognac, most Cognac Armagnac was drank, neat or on the rocks, but most of it's in a cocktail. And as you see, maybe I've been trying to make more cocktail videos because I know they're popular. Do you like cognac cocktails or Armagnac cocktails?
I actually, to be honest, don't really like cocktail at all. So especially no, I think I have another view on this product. It's, for me, it's as I mentioned before, it's a high quality product. Yeah, of course, if you have a standard VS bottling from NSE, okay, yeah, you can put it in a cocktail. But for me, it's I have another philosophy for these products, and yes, but everybody how he likes it. So yeah, it's up to you how you like it. But I'm not a big cocktail fan, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, you're not gonna throw your Moxie in 1958 in the cocktail. No, yeah. I started to enjoy them, especially from a VS or a VSOP. Like one of my favorite standard cocktails is a old fashioned. I thought, oh, let's sub the bourbon or rye whiskey for cognac. It was pretty good. So I think I like that, but I understand your perspective. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Do you Oh, sorry, I'm watching my dog. He's he's just sitting there kindly. His name's Winston. I have a pug. Maybe I'll put him in a video here, but um, man, that's kind of all the planned questions I had. Um, now I'm just trying to think. I don't know how much time you had.
I have time, no problem. So I think to come back to the idea with the podcast, I thought already the same actually to do something like that. But yes, I think it's kind of difficult also maybe to find a lot of topics if you don't have any producers where you can talk with. I think it's kind of difficult maybe. Of course, you can talk about a lot of things, sure, but it would be great to have some producers as guests for the podcast, but I think it's kind of difficult.
And then I think also I don't know how many people viewed the Cognac Expert podcast as well. I think that's because if you look into the data behind viewership for Cognac and Armagnac, it's still relatively pretty low. Just being a data analyst, I got curious, looking up how many search hashtags, how much the search volume, and it still is relatively low, and that's something that shocks me because I feel that in other regions it's probably growing, and I know in the U.S. the cognac market is very stagnant right now, not growing, a little bit of decline, but overall people still buy the big brands at least. So that's
Is it
really
possible for you to buy single cask cognac in the US, or do you have just a general like the Hennessy or the Martell? What?
That's actually a great question because no, it's actually difficult for me to get a lot of the cognacs you've seen I reviewed. I either have to order them online, Cognac Expert, Cognac Select is another nice website. But yeah, and that's probably different from you in Germany. It's quite costly for me to get the cognacs, and so recently I've actually had to, because I have this trip coming up. I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna start buying more of things I can get just from the store, like the big brands, because the people, that's the brands they know. So if I do a video on the big brands, I think they'll have people look more towards all the other videos, which are predominantly smaller brands. One of my favorites is Jean-Luc Pasquet. They actually had a demijohn of a 1958 stock. They couldn't tell me which producer made it, but they had some, and they actually sent me one. Yeah, purchased it, but they even have my name on it, Logan.
Yeah,
So,
it's quite nice.
maybe if you want one, reach out and ask because they'll put your name on it. And Amy's really kind, so
Yeah.
Amy and John.
Yeah.
But that's yeah. So kind of getting more focused. Sorry, I tangent a lot. And if you didn't know, I'm 25 years old. I've gotten a lot of messages that I'm really young to be making a lot of these videos, but I just enjoyed it, and I think the spirit deserves so much more attention, and I think there's so much room to grow. But yeah, it's quite difficult. Is it easier for you to get cognacs? Do you usually order them from online or in a store?
I think it's quite easy for us to get cognac or even armagnac. Of course, we have some stores, online shops, of course, but you can also order directly from a lot of producer. So, and they're also for very cheap prices still. So that's, I think, the big advantage at the moment, that you can still buy a lot of cognac and even armagnac, especially for very absolutely amazing prices, in my opinion. Most are too cheap, in my opinion, even. So especially if you see what kind of quality and how much passion is behind these products. So it's, for me, underpriced. But yes, you need, if you wanted to buy it directly from the domain or from the producer, it's sometimes a little bit difficult because yes, not everybody speaks English, so you need to translate it into French, and then it's a little bit easier for them to communicate with you. But you can do it. Yeah.
Do you know French?
A little bit.
Un peu.
But un petit peu. So I learned it in school, actually, because we live, I think we have 40 minutes to France from here. So we live very close to Switzerland and very close to France. So we learned French in school. And so I have some words in mind, and actually I understand it quite good, but of course to speak it's sometimes a little bit difficult.
No, I get it. I got a tutor and everything because actually I have an interview with Domaine Nadlu, but I forgot his name, but the cellar master, he doesn't know a lot of English. So I was like, I really have to work really hard on my French. So that is something I've tried to really overhaul. So I'm trying to be, you know, speak enough to where I can actually talk with someone when I go. So hopefully that works out. Working really hard on that. Because yeah, the first time I went, it was kind of embarrassing. You know, I felt like I couldn't talk with anyone, and you know, I couldn't even like we ordered pizza, and I'm like, oh wait, how do I ask for napkins? You know, so. Yeah, no, I'm definitely learning. I wish so. The thing with me as well, just being in America, is that recently, due to some of the tariffs, there's been more of a focus on what's coming into the country. So, like Cognac Expert, they had to temporarily shut down U.S. shipping because so many things were changing. So that really hurt because they were, you know, they're my favorite website. I talk to them all the time. And then, you know, I started broadening out to even more like what other websites are out there. But yeah, like for a typical bottle, let's say like the Gode single cask, it was like $100 for me. You know, on the website, ordered it, but with shipping and then the taxes and the duties, you know, $200. And so that's really been, you know, it eats away at what I can possibly, you know, the budget of a cognac for the month, right? Because I'm married, you know. I can't go over that budget. You know, I value my marriage. So, yeah.
Definitely need to take care about it. But how is it for you if you would like to order, or how when they want to send you some samples, for example? So how is it also you need to pay the tax for the samples then, or how do they handle that?
Well, I'll say this. For America, like something like the Pasquet, I've gotten samples before. Like trying to see it. Oh, I can't see it, but I've gotten samples before. Sometimes I don't have to pay the taxes or duty because they don't necessarily say it's alcohol, right? I might get a olive oil sample, right? So that's usually what happens.
Okay.
Because they'll have to do extra paperwork on their end as well. So so most samples I get, I don't have to pay. Sometimes I'll pay shipping. So hey, here's a free sample, but can you pay shipping? Like Lo Pasir, I got some Armagnac samples from them. I just paid the shipping, so that was really kind of them, which I'm more than willing to do. You know, they're going out of their way to send me some of these really, really great Armagnacs. I'm more than willing to pay the shipping. But and then so the U.S. has extra laws per state. So like I'm in the state of Michigan, in the United States. So Michigan, you're technically not like allowed to ship alcohol. There's different rules for wine, different rules for spirits, but you know, like let's say if I wanted to, like if there was a Michigan distillery and I wanted to get to my house, I couldn't ship it. I would have to like visit. But if it's international, then I can. So it's weird. It's really weird. But yeah, there's been a lot of trouble. Like ABK6, Abacassis, sent me a package, and I got a nasty bill from FedEx. It was like $70 after they sent it. So that's definitely something I don't know if the channel continues to grow. Do I make it a business so I can get tax write-offs, right? So that's something I'm really thinking through because the amount of samples I've gotten and free things is growing. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to, you know, pay a lot of money to get free stuff all the time. You know, have you been able to get a lot of cool stuff?
Yeah, so luckily, I'm was you said you spoke before from the Armagnac Festival, and the organization is actually Sascha Junkert, mainly who organized the SAM fair, and he has Armagnac.de. I think you maybe heard of it.
I've seen
it. And is also, by the way, part from Grape of the Art. So he sent me sometimes samples. Yes. So luckily that because he has a lot of open bottles and can send me some samples there. But I also ask sometimes the domain if they can send me something. Some want to have money for it, some not. So it depends a little bit. But of course, I can completely understand that they cannot send it all for free. Of course, I can pay for that, no problem. But of course, it's easier for me to have samples. But otherwise, you would have, I don't know, hundreds of open bottles here, and especially the expensive bottles. I know, yeah, you cannot open all the expensive bottles and leave them in your cellar. Then this makes no sense. I'm really happy, of course, to get a lot of samples.
Yeah, I'm actually having trouble fitting on my bottles recently on the little cart. I'm sure you've seen in my videos, I have a cart I stand in front of.
Mm-hmm.
That cart is I have to move all the bottles from the top shelf on the ground, or in my boxes, so that I can have a clear space. That cart is currently full to the brim. So I'm ordering a cabinet because it's not something I saw, but I have so many bottles now from buying and free and samples that are all over the place in boxes. So it's like, I'm sure you've experienced that too. You just end up getting a lot, and you're like, wow, I didn't realize I have to have to put all these bottles somewhere. Like, I have friends who have thousands of bottles, and they have a whole basement with shelves upon shelves, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with all this. I have to find a solution for that as well.
So that's the reason why I sometimes make some giveaways for the viewers, that they also can enjoy a little bit from the products which I have. So yes, because you cannot drink everything, you cannot taste everything. It's just you need to try to pick the good ones. It's not very easy sometimes, but yes, this is the only thing which you can do. So yeah. But I thought also, by the way, you have a lot of followers on Instagram already, right? You have, I don't know how many thousands.
Yeah, 802 now, which I did not see coming, honestly. Because on YouTube I have 258, so I'm growing on YouTube, and I try to at least upload a long video, maybe once every 2 weeks, because I saw that on Instagram it was really growing, and then my goal for the year was 1,000, and that'll be in August. Don't think I'll make it, but even then, the amount of support I've gotten is really cool from my American audience. So I'm very thankful. It's opened a lot of opportunities of cognac houses reaching out to me, like you said, with samples, which I'm very grateful for. And even a Martell rep recognized me, and we had a chat with him. I asked if I could film a video in Martell. He didn't respond, but it's all good. I'm just messing around. But no, it's been really cool, and that's I'm not sure how it even happened, because I was just uploading videos, and I'm like, oh, this is growing kind of fast, So
that's pretty cool. Yeah. And I think it's good to have people like you also, in order to make these products more famous. To speak about these products. I think this helps also for the cognac houses, for the domain, to get more famous here. And yes, maybe sometimes I also think they should use this opportunity to provide or to help us a little bit also, because sometimes I ask domain or cognac house about the history, about the specialties, and you get sometimes no response. That's, I think, kind of sad, because I want to speak in positive way about the producers. I don't want to say anything negative, but and also show pictures or impressions from this domain, because yes, they all have are very nice, beautiful domain. So beautiful. I don't know. Sometimes it's difficult why they don't answer. I don't know, but I always try to get a lot of information, many information as I can. But difficult sometimes. I made the same experience like you. So
yeah, that's actually something that I've been thinking, because recently I asked a cognac house, I won't say who, but just about they had a bottle that was really dark, and I was like, how? Because I knew it wasn't relatively old, unless but I'm like, how is it? Do you char the barrel? Because sometimes cognac houses char the barrel and they don't tell you. Like Hardy Legend, I believe, is a toasted barrel, but they don't necessarily put that on the bottle, or you have to really research and then you find out. Or something like the Canu Extra, that's also in a toasted barrel, but they don't tell you that. And I feel that that's something I would like to see more from maybe producers is you know, even
More
more.
transparency a little bit. You mean?
Yeah, I know. I think Hennessy as well. I
No,
know
I mean more
Martell.
transparency.
Oh,
Sorry.
not Hennessy, transparency. Yes. Yeah, because something like additives as well. I think the cognac house thought I was trying to say they had additives in their cognac. And I'm not looking to offend anyone. I was just very curious. But I think that's something that's really, really, no one knows about any, what's in cognac really. And that's kind of shocking because I know some additives are, like in the article here I read, some are allowed, so it's perfectly okay, and the cognac tastes fantastic. I don't mind, you want to make it darker because of, I know they can add like wood chips, here, something like that, or
Some
wood
caramel.
extract. I don't see there's a problem with it because it's allowed. So, but maybe they feel that it's doesn't make them look as good, but I'm not sure because I know the big brands do. They add some coloring, so that's why like Hennessy's VS looks like a as dark as a 50-year-old non-colored cognac, right? So
But yeah, I think that's a good point because when I make reviews and want some information about the product or collect the information, I always want to try and find out if there are any additives inside. Actually, most don't use additives, and I think this
most
is
of
something
yeah.
positive. Yeah. So why don't they communicate that? So sometimes I don't understand it because it's a big difference for me personally if I have a completely natural product or if I have a product where they help a little bit with some caramel or whatever. So yes, it's a big difference for me personally.
I'd say yeah, most don't. Especially like the vintage offerings, the higher proof offerings in cognac, all of them are no color, no additives. So yeah, I mean that stuff. That's the cognac that really made me fall in love with it. Because here in the United States, I didn't even know higher proof cognacs existed before I visited. Because they're not on the shelf, they're not available. No vintage offerings. Um, even older products are difficult to get as well. So that's nothing I can control. That's international, and some of the brands just aren't big enough to really get into the U.S. market because it's dominated. I believe 75% of the U.S. market are the big brands. So it's quite difficult for them to find a share in that space, even though it is the biggest market outside of China. So, but I think that's why I see more brands focusing like their marketing on Germany or the UK or even Africa. I've seen a lot of like I've seen ABK6 was marketing in Africa, Martell. So I think that's probably a growing market as well, which is really interesting because I didn't know. I feel like there's so many markets where cognac can grow. There's I didn't even think about like South America as well, and I visited Spain as well. My wife is Spanish.
Okay.
And I didn't see. I thought I would see a lot of cognac there. There really wasn't a lot of cognac. And I got some Spanish brandy, which is also really, really good.
Yeah.
Have you tried Spanish brandy?
Yes, so I also have the category, the different reviews where I also had already some Spanish brandy and also Italian brandy. By the way, they have also
Grappa.
very good brandy, Italian brandy. Yes, and make the same experience. They have also very good brandies there, very, very good matured brandies. So it's definitely also a very good alternative for Cognac or Armagnac to try Spanish and even Italian brandy. Yeah.
I have a question. Since you are German, have you tried German brandy?
Yes, I tried. But how can I say? It's different. It's really different taste-wise. But I would stay more the French brandy or Spanish or Italian brandy, to be honest. I think we have some It's difficult. It's very, very difficult because taste-wise, it's completely different for me. It's not really, has not a lot to do with brandy. I think I don't know. I'm not really getting warm with that. So yes, I will stay the French or Italian or Spanish.
No, that's cool because I wasn't enjoying German brandy as much either, so I wasn't sure if it was just me. I have a Asbach Alt. Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah,
So I didn't know if there was another brand that was better, but yeah, so herbal. I got like sarsaparilla. I don't know if that's probably called something different in Germany, but that so different. I was like, are there other ways I can use this to enjoy it more? I'm not sure. And I see that Asbach has older offerings. Maybe those are better. I'm not sure because I can't find them. But yeah, no, I think because I was on a podcast recently for American brandy in the western side of the U.S., California, right? One of the biggest winemakers, for the U.S. market for wine. Hey, they make a lot of great wine. Can they make a pretty good brandy? And I thought it was pretty good. So I think that U.S. brandy is actually all right. The only one from California, though. I had one from Kentucky, which is like the southern U.S., where most bourbon is made. It was very strong. It was I did a review on it. It was good, but it was so different than cognac. It wasn't a lot of finesse. It was like a smack in the face. So for people who like that, I think they'll enjoy it. But it is, man, the alcohol is very strong on that one.
What kind of grapes do they use there? Do you know
They
that?
use I asked them, they use Pinot Noir, and which, as you know, cognac mainly uses the Uni Blanc, and then Armagnac uses what, Baco, Foya Blanche, some Uni Blanc as well for Armagnac.
Colombar.
Colombard.
Yeah.
So, I read that the reason for that is because they have more acidity. So those grapes wouldn't necessarily make good wine, but they make great cognacs. So that's why it's kind of like if you're using, because Pinot Noir is a great, grape wine, grape for wine, it's probably already know that it might not be the best for brandy, but it wasn't terrible. So, maybe they're onto something.
Yeah, but I think that there are big differences for especially the Godet which you had, the Montil grape. I think I had already, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 different kind of cognac made from Montil grape, and this is a wonderful grape, the Montil grape. So, but I think it's a difficult grape to handle because it's a very sensitive grape, and so Uni Blanc is I think most resistant grape. So this is the reason why everybody uses actually the Uni Blanc grape. And but especially, for example, so if we speak about Armagnac, so I don't know if you heard from the Domaine de Danise.
I do not.
The Tenares. Yeah, they use only Foy Blanche grapes, and this is also great. Yeah, also Foy Blanche has beautiful flavor, beautiful identity. The Foy Blanche grape. So yeah, I think you have very, very big variations of grapes, especially in Armagnac, which you can use. I think there are up to 10 different kind of grapes you can use at Armagnac. So yeah,
I have to try more of the Monty because, yeah, like we said, that Godet 17-year single cask is phenomenal. So I'm like, can I taste, if there's any cognac that will taste remotely like that? I need to know why, right? So because that's fantastic, and I want to visit Godet, but they're so far. They're in Bois Ordinaire,
yes,
La Rochelle.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
unfortunately, I won't be able to visit them on my trip to Cognac because they're too far. But so far on my docket, I am visiting Domaine Ladru. I'll be filming some content with Prunier. Who else? I'm trying to. I think I want to add in Frappin. Have you been to Frappin?
I've been to Frappin, but I just was at the shop there, so I didn't make a tour. I just I saw them by accident actually when I drove by, and I saw Frappin. I said, okay, I want to have a look to this domain, but I just was at the shop there, so I did not visit the complete domain there.
Oh, gotcha. Because
Yeah.
I've seen they've really been kind of growing in there. I see they're getting more followers and people talk about them. They had a collaboration with an NBA player, Rudy Gobert. He's a
Mm.
French NBA player, so I thought maybe I'll visit them as well because I tried a vintage of theirs and it was really good. I'll be visiting Henry Tossier because they reached out and I tried their extra from the Cognac Expert calendar and I enjoyed that cognac as well. I know they're a really small brand, so I know not a lot of people know about them, but I'll be visiting them. And then so far, who else? I have so many emails going back and forth, and I have to my wife helps me organize all these communications because it gets complicated. Some are in French and then English, and going back and forth between Instagram and email. So, but yeah, so far that's who I have on the list. But I'm trying to hit as many as I can and build some really good content. Also, sorry, Jean-Luc Pasquet. I'll be interviewing Amy there and Jean, so that'll be really cool as well. Something I want to ask you as well, kind of a wrap up. Why did I apologize, it lost me.
But I think, by the way, this is the great thing about Cognac and also Armagnac. So, and also the recommendation for everybody who is interested in these two spirits to go to these regions. It's also something. So I had one experience which will always be in my mind. I think it was an Armagnac region when I drive. Just I don't know which road it was, where it was. I cannot remember, but it was just a sign Armagnac on the street there. And I said, okay, let's have a look what kind of Armagnac there is. I had a little bit of some time and said, okay, I will just go there and see what they have. And when I drove through this small street there, it looked actually first like a farm because they had some animals also there. And then there was a very old man, and with my little words of French which I speak, I tried to find a communication with him, but he understand that I want to try his Armagnac. And then he went with me into his house, and I was sitting in his kitchen there, and everything very easy. Most of them live quite easy there, so not really luxurious or high quality stuff. So just very easy, and it was such a nice old man, and he showed me. I think he had 10 different kind of Armagnac, and I could try everything. And yeah, so this was. And I had I think I spent there, 2 or 3 hours there, just talk a little with him and enjoy his Armagnac, and this was absolutely amazing. So yes, and it is something what I wanted to say, which you can just experience if you just drive through these regions. If there is a sign, stop and have a look. Maybe they have time for you, and this is what I really love about Armagnac and also Cognac.
Yeah, it was really rustic, and I have to get to the Armagnac region. That'll be another trip for me. But yeah, it kind of shocked me that a lot of these producers really, like you said, they're not luxurious. They, it looks like they make a nice living, but they're like normal people. Just they take care of their land. They create the spirit. And one thing that I didn't even know until maybe 3 months ago, I was talking with Nicholas from PM Spirits, but he was at a cigar lounge. So I was talking with him. No one knows, especially in America, that there are different types of producers, like Pruniers and Negociant, right? And that a lot of producers make cognac distill for the bigger houses. And that's a way of revenue, or I didn't even know that, and I just feel like there's so much knowledge that isn't just public. Like that's really fascinating about Cognac and Armagnac production, because a lot of these houses may not be afloat if they didn't distill for some of the bigger houses. So I just find that really interesting. Like who's a big one? I know Prunier is Thimi Caban.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know, I know they produce and then they release their own stuff, and it's fantastic, right? I'm not sure if you got some of their older releases. Like did you get the 100-year that they made last year?
Yep, this one. Yeah, I got this one, and I think they also had. Then I had a lot 58 or
It was
something
like
like that.
70 years recently.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
That
So yeah,
that 100-year was exceptional. I wish I could try more. I know Piton Flair has a 100-year as well, but I did you get your the Familia Caban from Cognac Expert when it was half off?
yes, yeah.
Yeah, that was. I told my wife, I'm like, I know I've bought a lot, but I cannot pass up on this opportunity. That was So okay, that kind of ties into the question of, I don't know if you know any more insight, but how can are they losing money on that? Or, you know, kind of going back to the prices of Cognac and Armagnac, it is a little bit expensive for me just due to, you know, shipping. But like for you in Europe, like some of these prices are really head scratching. You have 25-year-old, like I got a J. Oldenau Extra. It's 25 years old for $50. I mean, come on. Right. So, like, do you know any insight of why it's priced that way? Or is it just that they're still making profit from these prices?
That's a good question. So I don't know the numbers from the producers, but I think, of course, they earn something with that. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. But I think the gap from you know, it's not that big, which they have. So so this is what I heard already now many times, that the part what they earn is not a big part. So they just do it actually for their living, you know. So and this is also what you said before, that it's very important for the small producers to sell their products to the big companies, because otherwise they wouldn't survive. Yeah, they need this income. And so yeah, it's very difficult to say actually. I don't know. On the other side, you see sometimes the Perrier bottlings, for example, which are a little bit higher priced. So yes, so the Perrier, they don't produce by themselves, so they got their cognac from other domain. And so I think it's, of course, the reason that you can buy your product directly from the producer is then why you also pay maybe a little bit less than what when you have someone like Perrier, Godet, or Moxion, yeah, who don't produce by themselves, who buy all the casks, and then of course you have a little higher price product. And so it's, of course, the cheapest way is, of course, to buy directly from the producers.
Right, right. No, yeah, it's still like, especially Armagnac, and Armagnac's even, it's great, but it's even less popular than Cognac, and you can get an old Armagnac for, you know, really, you know, shocking prices, probably straight from the producer, you know, because they just have these casks sitting around because it's not that popular. So that's why, like, one thing I was explaining to my friend is that, you know, something like, for like bourbon, for example, a 7-year-old bourbon, you could pay, you know, $60, $70, right? And not that it's not, you know, they char the barrels. It's a different process, different grains, right? So it's going to be, but I just thought, I was like, so it is just crazy the fact that you can get a 7-year-old bourbon for like $60, but then you can go out and get a really, really old Armagnac for like a 30-year-old Armagnac for that price. I'm like, it is just, you know, that is just really kind of hard to wrap my head around. You know, when I visited Paris, I got what was it? An Armagnac, a smaller bottle, but you know, that was kind of something I would bring back, and it was like only $40. So really shocking stuff. So that's really interesting.
I think another point is that, you know, especially for example whiskey, you have a lot of marketing behind that. Just think about Artback. So you have the Louis Vuitton Moët Hennessy, which is behind this brand, and they put I don't know how many money for their marketing there. So this is first point is that the small producers, they cannot spend a lot of money for marketing. So you can be very happy to find a website actually or any contact information to a producer. So I think this is a big point also, yeah, that they don't advertise their products, and so yeah, they don't have the money to do that actually. So yeah,
That's really interesting and kind of not disappointing for them, but just that there's not enough. They don't make enough to have marketing because these products, once you taste them, it is phenomenal. I believe like that's something I want to. That's why I want to figure out how to put it on a cognac event in the United States. Because I think once people try these products, it really is jaw dropping, and they're willing to pay the money. He is a big whiskey. He does like a lot of single casks. His name is Take T the number 8 KE. You may have seen him before on social media, but he recently did some cognac single barrels from Cognac Park and some Calvados as well. I forgot the producers for the Calvados. But the crazy part is some of these single casks from Cognac Park were about $400. Now, there wasn't a lot of them he was selling, but they all sold out. All of them sold out. So it's like people are willing to pay the money once they know what they're tasting. And that's, I think, a big part of it. It's just not a lot of people taste these things. I remember when I was working at a liquor store, and there was a Remy Martin event there at the store where people were trying the 1738 from Remy Martin. A standard cognac bottling, very popular for what it is. People tasted. They tasted. Oh, it's good, right? They don't care much about it because it's so popular. And then, what was it? The Aldo Fucini also had some samples going around, and people tried it and they're like, this is fantastic. I'm like, once people try it, I really like Aldo Fucini's cognac as well. That's a producer that I can get pretty regularly to here, which is really, really nice. I think I might visit them as well. I don't know too much about Fucini, but I'll definitely try to learn a little bit more and visit because I like their cognac. But all these smaller producers, they're doing phenomenal work, and I wish they can grow and keep getting the recognition they deserve. An idea I had down the line, if I got enough funding, or because I like to, film. I would love to like make a film one day. And I was like, wait, imagine what a Cognac and Armagnac documentary would do for these smaller producers. And that's something that's a pipe dream, but I think that would be like phenomenal if a small filmmaker just went to France, did a little documentary about the spirit. I think it would be huge for their outreach,
Yeah. So especially if you look through the internet, you won't find anything about, or not a lot about Armagnac or even Cognac, about the production or I think there's one video on YouTube, but I think it is maybe over 10 years already on YouTube. So yeah, there is a lot of potential. And I think especially if you just think about how old these products are, which they have, it's amazing. So I think, of course, everybody knows maybe NSE or Martell or the big brands, but no one knows these small producers and what kind of quality they have and what kind of old brandies they have. Yeah, as you mentioned, the Caban, imagine 100 years, absolutely amazing. And I think this is something, yes, the people have to try. They have to experience these products. And yes, to make fairs, of course, is one way. What we are doing is one way. So we have a lot of possibilities to show the people the product, but yeah, everything needs time, and like for you, it's also for me just a hobby, and yeah, so I have also
I was saying that's one thing why I started a cognac channel instead of like bourbon is because I typed in cognac on YouTube, there's nothing there. 10 years old, 12 years old, 8 years old. Like no one's making consistent videos, and then I saw your channel. I'm like, oh, this guy's Benjamin's uploading regularly, and so that's how I started mine. And now when you type in, I hope you're glad to see this. If you type in cognac, if you scroll, you do pop up. So I think that's really cool for you, videos. So because I think that since no one really, I'm just gonna be honest. Besides you, I don't know of another cognac and Armagnac creator that's making consistent content. So just kind of bravo. I hope to see more. I feel that once like my Instagram channel, I think as it keeps growing, I hope that spurs on more people to make videos and content about Cognac and Armagnac. So
yeah, but I would like to spend so much more time there, like you also. Of course, for me, it's a little bit closer than for you. But if you have family, if you have a business, it's difficult to do it. And I have, I don't know, my Armagnac list, maybe 30, 40 domain, which I want to visit next time. Yes, I don't know where to find the time for that. But yes,
for me, it's almost like a vacation because that's all the extra time I have. And unfortunately, here in the US, we really don't get much of it. So so my goal is to maybe visit once every 2 years. But then again, I'm married and we would love to have start a family. So, I'm not sure how often I'll visit. And one thing I told my wife is, and we're thinking, if I can keep growing and the Instagram channel's doing really well, maybe it would be beneficial to like get a visa and just stay over there for a month to film. I mean, how much could I film in a month? I could film content for the whole year, so that might be something I invest in later on.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Of course, then you have a lot of material with which you can work with. So, but yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, I think there are so many domains where I know I would want to go again there and to make also filming videos there to show the people what kind of great domain they have there. But it's a thing of time, and it's not always very easy, So,
and I really appreciate your time.
It was very nice to meet you, to have this conversation with you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, nice to meet you as well, Benjamin, and I'm excited. I'll see you in Bordeaux, and maybe in Cognac as well in November. So I appreciate you. All right, thank you. I will email these files to you.
Thank you very much, Logan.
Anytime. You have a great night.
You too. Thank you. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.